get asked questions all the time, and I wanted to take this opportunity to answer all of them. Why? Because I'm always asking questions to other people on my show, and it's my turn to answer questions. Hi, my name is Shree. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome to this episode of Journey of an Entrepreneur, where I will be answering everybody's questions. Now, if you don't know, I am a social media manager, and my team and I help doctors and lawyers gain an edge online. We help your practice build a social media presence that attracts, retains patients and clients. Now, I was just having a little fun there. I'm trying to get ready for a presentation that I'm making in front of some people next week. Hopefully, the weather will permit. But I want to get into these questions because we got quite a few. Thank you for all of you who either messaged me, answered my questions in the Ask Me Anything box on Instagram, to just conversations that I've had before this show. So the first one that I get is, what do I use to edit my videos? So what I currently am using is CapCut. And I know CapCut is owned by ByteDance. So really I don't know what I will be using, but that is what I use. But there is InVideo, InShot. If I had to really choose one, I would go to InVideo. I have used that for before I got into CapCut. And Nada, thank you for joining today. And you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and answer this question. How do you glow like that? What's your beauty secret? So the beauty secret is I drink 80 ounces of water a day. I use Milani. Uh, it's I just can't, you know how when you get old, you forget things, but it's a setting spray by Milani. It's dewy skin. So that's how this glow comes about. Plus, lighting. I have really good lighting in the room. That helps as well. Let's get into these other amazing questions. And look, if you're catching this live right now and you have a question, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Or if you're watching the replay or you're listening to this episode on the podcast, definitely go ahead and drop them. I would love to answer your question. Again, these are questions that I really sincerely got from so many people. And sometimes it feels like, oh, how is this going to help me? I'm a doctor. I own a practice. Why would I need to know all this information? Well, one, let me answer that question. Not every social media manager is the same. Everybody's a little bit different. And you want to make sure that the person that you're bringing on your team is in alignment to what you are looking for. Now, I have experts on my team, and they're really awesome. They have a background in medicine, meaning like they've either worked in a hospital setting type where they were leading audits, or they were studying to become a doctor. So we have insight. We're not just a group of people who are like, oh, today we're just going to start managing social media accounts for doctors. It's something that it fell into our lap, and it's because we have this kind of experience that followed us. Here's an interesting fact that some people don't know. I actually wanted to become a pharmacist. I worked at CVS for almost 3 years. I was a pharmacy technician. So I know about medicine in like the different types that, what's metformin, which is for diabetes and blood pressure. So let's get into the next question that we have. How do you create content that talks to a struggle your target market has and stick to it? This is a really good one. And this is one that I know that if you're watching this, you're trying to figure out, like, what do I want to create that will speak to my audience? How do I really know who I'm working with? Well, first off, if you decided to open a practice, then you have your practice. You are either a pain management doctor, a neurosurgeon, you can be an esthetician, you can be a branding coach. What are the common questions that you get? Most people want to know, why did you become a doctor? Why did you select this particular, why did you want to go into this field? Or why did you become a branding coach? Like what made you decide out of everything to become a branding coach? Then the next one is, a lot of people ask questions like, I struggle with getting on camera. Why do you struggle with getting on camera? These are conversations. I have that conversation. And the more conversations you have, the more you're able to create content that will speak to them. If this seems a little weird, I'll tell you a secret. It won't be a secret anymore. When I first started, I talked to everybody. I actually talked to so many people. I did it for free before I started to charge so that I could really understand what are the problems. This also applies to medical practices. I have been going since last year, setting up lunch and meets so that I can hear the conversations, the things that aren't being said in online. Like, for example, before we had that tragedy with the United Healthcare CEO, this was a conversation that was being had behind closed doors amongst doctors. Physicians are worried about, hey, I'm a private practice, and now we have these large hospital systems coming in wanting to buy our practice. The more conversations you have, the more that you will understand, this is something I need to be talking about. And you will start to see your audience commenting below. So, or they will reach out to you and tell you, I'm so thankful that you're having this conversation. So, have conversations, share the stories. As Nada says, Nada has, you know what, I want to give a shout out to Nada. Nada actually has a workshop. If you are not sure about how to tell your story and you're not ready to bring on an agency, I would highly recommend to sign up for her workshop if she has any available slots. You know, Nada, if you could share that link so people can go ahead and sign up, I would highly recommend it. So let's get into the next question, which is, how do I do storytelling in my videos? Well, first, what is the story that you want to share? Is it the story about how you want to apply to med school and you didn't get in the first time? Or is it, I actually got into a car accident and I had to work with a lawyer. My experience wasn't that great, but because of that experience, it helped me to get my first client. It helped me to understand who I really want to focus on. Again, when you do a story, you want to pick one topic that you want to stick with in the story. Don't go everywhere. You want to keep that one lesson. So if you're talking about the struggles of how it is to get into med school, stick to what is that one struggle and how did you overcome it. Another one is, what is a myth that you believe and how do you and what is the truth? Here's an example. I used to believe that there was security in a 9 to 5, but I realized after I got laid off that there's no security in a 9 to 5, nor or owning your own business. The truth is, the security lies in the soft skills that you have. And because I actually focused on one aspect of the story, now I can take this story and do it in my video. So again, it's not about just the video. It's about your script. It's about what is that one point you want to get across to people. And then what do you want them to reach out to you for? Is it that you want them to understand that you know how it's like to be working a 9 to 5 and be an entrepreneur? Is it that you want them to learn that anything is possible? Like, what is that one lesson that you want them to get away from the story? The next question that I got is, it's always fun to do these. How did you start doing videos or knew that this is what you wanted to do? This is not what I always wanted to do. I will tell you that in 2018, I was at an event and I went up to some people and I pretended that I was interviewing them. The person behind the camera said, "Hey, you're like, there's something about you." And the moment they said that, I got fear. Had this so much fear. And then next thing I know, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. Now, fast forward to 2019, I started a business and I thought, how do I get in front of more people? And someone told me testimonial videos were really where it's at. And then I thought, well, let me hear their story. Here comes COVID, where I'm just another person on social media. But how do I get in front of people? Hey, people are going live. People are doing videos. This is all I knew. I didn't care about how I looked or if I fumbled on my words or if I did kind of care about my gray hairs and my psoriasis, but I looked past that because I was like, I need to get people, I need to get in front of more eyes. What can I do? And that's how I started doing videos, just going live. I really didn't even like being on the camera in the beginning. I used to have a lot of trouble, even before the live streaming shows on Instagram. I had to do a series of talking to myself. It was a whole routine where I would dance, I would make funny noises like with my face and I also would remind myself of how amazing I am and that I can do this. And eventually it led to creating videos and I was helping other people do videos. And now this is something that I do for others. We create videos, we take content, we go on site and record all of your content and then we chop it up because sometimes you're just busy and it's easier to have someone else to just walk in, have everything ready for you for the scripts, have the lighting, have the videos, camera equipment, have the lapel mics, and all you have to do is just show up. And that's what we do. I want to make sure yes, that quote needs to be framed. The security is in the skills you have. And it's very true that your soft skills that you are learning, whether you are working for someone or you have your own practice, you gain them and you keep them. So even though you are a physician who is working with patients, maybe you want to get in front of an audience and start to speak. You can start doing that by practicing them in videos. If you want to have the opportunity to write a book, this is what you can do as well. Hey, Stephen, wonderful to see you too. So social media is not just to promote your practice, your business. Social media is also to give eyes to you and what you can offer to the world, because we all have something amazing that can help somebody with something. I was watching today a video from Chris Doe, and he said this. He said that you, meaning all of us who provide a service, a product, are the prize. We have to remember that we are offering something to someone to solve a problem that they have. And for them, they are taking a risk in investing in us, but they're happy to do that because they know that in return, it's going to come back even more. So we have to remember that we are the prize. The next question that I get, I love this. What are your hopes for 2025? So, one of my biggest hopes is that I remain focused in my faith and remain focused in what I do. So I allowed last year a lot of my doubt, my fears. I had my family, and they all took a part in a role in like making me feel that I was small. And I said, you know what? We're not going to do that in 2025. We're actually going to make conscious effort and working on that. So in the morning, I change my routine. I'm actually journaling, I'm listening to prayers, and I'm just being more mindful about how I'm starting my day. And I'm working on the evening, but that's one of my hopes. And my other hope, which I want to put out there, is I definitely want to make more money. I want to help more clients, but I want to help my current clients because they signed on, they wanted to work with us, and I want to keep them coming back. I want to show and give them more value in their business. It's not about just like, oh my God, I got a new client. It's more of, okay, you know what? I learned this new thing. I wonder if this is going to work for you. And I can imagine that this is happening even in practices where you're trying to look for how can I help this patient? AI is there. There's so many things that are out there and so many avenues and opportunities that you can bring into your practice. But if you are stuck in what you're used to doing, then that's where you're going to be. But if you're thinking about doing something different, there's so much opportunity out there. Number 6, how many years have you been in social media management? This is a good question because I only recently changed my title, but we started managing social media accounts back in 2023. So we are now hitting the second year of doing this. And we've worked with authors, we've worked with the sales coach. What's going on, Kenny, KD? And I decided, you know what? I love producing live streaming shows. I love producing podcasts, but we're going to focus on social media management. Was it easy? No. But I decided it's easier to talk about one thing so people can keep coming back and say, you know what, this person here, you want to work with them. And I didn't just happenstance to pick a doctor and lawyer. It's because of my personal experience with the lawyer I had. And then in that process, I met my current client that I realized, you know what, I really like working with doctors. Of course, I have doctors in my family, but I enjoy the challenges, the learning about what's working for them and what's not, and just seeing how it's not about going viral. It's about having content that connects to a potential patient who understands and sees like, hey, this doctor knows what they're talking about. And I just want to go to them. I don't want to go to everybody. I just want to go to them because they seem to know what they're talking about. Number 7, how many years? Okay, I got that one. Sorry, guys. Sorry. What we use a social media agency, but it's basic content. Why do I need to change it? So you may have a social media manager in your office or clinic, or you may have hired a social media agency like myself. But I actually got this because the question was asked, why would I want to change something that's working? Well, let me ask you, is it really working? Are patients really saying, I'm dying to work with you because I really connected to you when you talked about how to study for the MCAT? Or, hey, I really connected with this story because you shared that you got into a car accident when you were 16 and you had to go through physical therapy and talking to the doctors and you couldn't understand what they were saying. And then that triggered you to say, you know what, I want to become the doctor that's helping people understand what's going on with them and not use words that they can't understand. So There is a difference. You can put out basic content, but it doesn't necessarily convert. It doesn't necessarily get people wanting to reach out and work with you. Just because you don't have high views doesn't mean that people are not reaching out to you in your DMs, email, text messages, calling your office. These are things that we really can't track, because if it's going to your personal email, your personal cell phones, your DMs, the only way we would know is if we're in the back seeing all of it. But that's why I say basic content gets you basic people. I'm going to get some backlash for that, but let's just be real. We want people who want to stay with us, who want to work with us, who want to keep coming back. And if I have a choice, I'd rather go to somebody who I really connect with on a deeper level. The next question is, why should I be on social media? And I actually had this conversation. So the clinic was like, we get a lot of traction because our practice is being shared in private WhatsApp groups. So the next question that I had is, do you own those WhatsApp group? Sorry. And if you don't own the group, then if the group goes away, there goes your marketing. It's great that you are being referred in these WhatsApp group, but a lot of times, at least I do this, if someone refers me to a doctor, especially, I want to look them up. I want to be able to know who is the staff, what should I expect, especially if there's a video. I'm going to watch that video. I'm going to see like, okay, what do I need to do? ABC. And I know I actually don't forget it. It makes it easier in the long run. So everybody's on social media, because the next question is, are doctors on LinkedIn? And it is. We have seen, if you are a doctor right now, I would love for you to drop a heart, or if you are listening to this episode, drop a heart in the comments. But we are seeing more and more doctors sharing their story, and especially during the time when the CEO of United Healthcare was assassinated, we heard the doctors talking about what they're going through, the struggles that their team is going through to get procedures approved. Those videos are getting like millions, hundreds and thousands of shares, and people are talking about it because they thought for a very long time it was the doctors when it's really this. And so you're hearing a whole conversation. So it goes back to, you should be on social media because, one, it gives you exposure to who you are and to your practice. If you're an entrepreneur, of course, we use social media to interact. This is our way of interacting with people to see, what do people really have questions on? What is it what kind of content is sticking and what kind of content is not sticking? The next question is, what equipment do I use to go live with? So I have my laptop. I have a microphone right here. And if you're starting out and you want to start doing live shows, you want to do podcasts, I would highly, highly suggest getting a microphone. Depending on your budget, there's a range. The one I'm using right now is a Blue Yeti. I do have a Shure mic over here, which I will be setting up and moving to. I have a light over here. This is called a newer light. I have a ring light over here, and I have a desk lamp over here. And then these are all that I set up. That was my original tripod I use, and then that's actually a mirror with the light. You don't need to have all that, but you can have a basic. You want to have proper lighting. You want to make sure that you're not dark, people could see you. And you want to make sure the audio is crystal clear, especially for podcasts, because that's all audio. Unless you upload a video, but still a lot of us are just listening, whether we're cooking, taking the kids to an event or a practice, or we're shopping, we're walking, running, working out, you want to make sure that that audio is really well heard. So you want to make sure that you have a decent mic. If you have a budget, there are really good mics out there. But if you want to start, I started out with a Blue Yeti mic. And what I did was I signed up for their newsletter. And whenever they had a sale, I got it on sale. And then the next question that I have is, do I need YouTube? And I will say yes. And here is why. So TikTok, we don't know if that's going to be banned, but we are going to see an influx of people coming on to all the platforms, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. They may be going to the other sister apps of TikTok, but the reason why being on YouTube is, one, it gets you exposure. It's SEO friendly. So if you already have a website, it's going to pull up your videos too when someone's searching for your practice. Another thing is that you get common questions. So why not create videos that answer the common question and direct your patients to watch those videos, especially if you have a procedure that you're going to be doing, whether it's in your clinic or it's in the hospital. These quick videos can help them be prepared. And especially if they have family members coming with them, a lot of times the person that's coming with them watches the video more times than the person that's actually getting the procedure. And also YouTube, I have learned by listening to the YouTube formula, is that it also allows for, you never know what people are searching for. Everybody's always looking for something. I know I'm always watching something on YouTube, and I watch the videos that are associated, like whether I'm trying to get content ideas, whether I'm trying to see what's the trending like topic that's being talked about, whether it's my favorite YouTuber, I'm using YouTube. So why not be there? Is it easy? No. Is it hard to grow? Yes. Is the payout long term going to be great? Yes. I want to make sure I don't miss any comments. And we have Srinatha saying hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody who is here. And I have one more question for the evening, and that is, did you know I have a email newsletter that goes out every Thursday? If you're not on the newsletter, I share a lot of tips on how to grow, whether it's getting better on video, whether it's tips for email, whether it's YouTube. I share a lot of stuff. So definitely join the newsletter. I'll make sure that I drop the link in the comments. But I just want to say thank you, everybody who did share a question, who reached out to me, who talked to me. And hopefully what I shared will help you when it comes to creating content for your business, for your practice, for whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether you're even trying to promote that you are an author and you just want to get people to purchase your book. These tips are there. And I will be doing more lives by myself in the coming months, because that is another thing I wanted to start doing in 2025, is do the things that I know I need to be doing, but keep putting excuses to. And that is going live by myself, having an episode by myself, because a lot of times people just want to hear what I have to say, not what a guest has to say. So until my next live, which is next week with my guest Russ, and praying for Russ, and hopefully everything will work out. We're just going to say it. He's going to be here. Have a wonderful evening or day. Bye, everybody.